Hi! Health tracking has become more popular and more common in recent years. It is known that it can either improve or ruin your well-being, depending on your attitude. So in today's episode, we will take a look how your body attitude impacts to your health tracking experience. Welcome to today's episode. Not sure if there's anyone out there who doesn't do any health tracking or hasn't ever tried any kind of health tracking. So health tracking or health monitoring means that you can measure something concrete, so you will get out some data considering your health. So we will talk about health tracking more in individual's perspective. But what is something concrete you can measure? As an example, you can measure heart rate, your sleep, so the duration, onset, sleep phases. You can count steps, energy expenditure, ovarian cycle, usually temperature related, glucose levels. So there are different kind of devices. And I would count even the apps which doesn't have any device, but you're putting in some numbers. For example, if you are tracking your ovarian cycle, you could put when your cycle start, how you're feeling. So there are different kind of apps for this. So I would count even these for health tracking. But it can basically be also a device. It can be ring, it can be watch. Your phone quite often has some sort of health tracking system, so it can count your steps. It can be these glucose monitors you put to your skin. If I don't remember incorrectly, I think they have sort of needle there. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, there are many ways you can do health tracking and many things that can be monitored. Health tracking can also lead to obsession, anxiety, stress, disappointment. So health tracking can have the opposite effects from benefiting you, which are tightly connected to your thoughts. So the reason for this might be that the person is focusing too much to numbers instead of also reflecting how the person feels. So even though these tracking or monitoring systems are coming better step by step, it's also good to remember that these devices and apps, they can't see the whole human being in an individual level. They don't know your whole life, what's going on there, unexpected events happening, which will affect to your mood, your energy level. So all of this is lacking from the health tracking. And one reason also to the downsides of the health tracking can be that the individual has set too high expectations. So the goal is somewhere so far and not maybe reachable, at least not yet. And just trying to get there without having smaller steps in between, without getting the encouragement that you are able to do that. So let's talk about these things, how to work around these downside effects to avoid self-rumination, since these health tracking platforms are often lacking the space for emotional reflection. So it's based to the data you get. And even though there would be a space for this, it's still common because your goal is something which is related to numbers. It's easier to focus for those than focus how you're feeling. But that's really important because that is part of your well-being. But I want to bring up a few things if you are experiencing these possibly negative effects from health tracking. I would first ask, do you need to really health track? Do you need to do that? Why you are doing that? So do you need to? And also, do you want to? Because it might be that you don't necessarily need to do that. So do you want to do that? I had an interesting discussion about this topic with people in my Instagram, and I want to give these tips to you too. So if you then decide that yes, I want to do that or I need to do that, and you still get these maybe anxiety or disappointment, or it's not getting more good than bad, could you take a break? Do you need to do that all the time? That was really good tip. And the other one, do you need to monitor everything, or could you choose the ones that doesn't cause that much stress? So you can choose which kind of things you want to monitor, which actually benefits you. You can do it in your way because you are doing it for yourself. So you can have a breaks. So I would say either change your attitude or actions without changing the attitude. If you feel this is not for me, you can also leave it out. And if you want to continue, then it's really good to change your attitude with the actions too. You can have a goals which are closer to your current state. And even though it's often about the numbers, remember that it's equally or even more important how you feel. Yes, sometimes we need to push those days through, which doesn't feel so good. But if that continues for a long time, it doesn't help you to get where you want to. And remember, you are doing this for you. Yeah, that's all. Thank you for joining today's episode. See you on next time. Bye.